Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffe Kennedy, author of fantasy romance and romantic fantasy. I'm here with my first cup of coffee and with the fabulous Darynda Jones, author of
Oh,
You Have to Think.
I have to think. Paranormal mystery, young adult, straight mystery. Yeah, lots of things.
I tried to get her to do a chime for you guys, and she was like, I don't.
Ding. That's my chime.
No, it has to be like ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding,
So I am here in fabulous Portales and at the home of Darynda Jones. And she's already started making it into a museum, you guys. So like when you tour the where Darynda Jones lived and created her works, there's like the dog gates against the guest bedrooms. And it's just like visiting the sacred bedroom of
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, yes. Jane Austen.
Jane Austen. There you go. There you go.
And so I stopped at the hydration station on the way from the hotel and got my I said like grande-ish size, but this
Nice.
feels very,
Yeah. What'd you
very
get?
large. I got an Americano
Nice.
because it's like, because if I get an espresso, it's like not enough to keep drinking.
Right. Right.
This whole, because Darynda does a lot of the same intermittent fasting that I do, so she understands. We understand each other.
Yes, we do.
So this has like, enough that I could sip on it for a while. And she had stevia for me, and then a tiny bit of cream just to like cut that edge.
Right.
So what are you drinking? You have your
I am also drinking Americano with, but I have sugar.
You have sugar.
I actually put
and,
sugar.
and show them your fabulous cup. Look
Winter
at that.
Soldier.
So you have
honey.
to describe it because some people are only on audio.
Oh, okay. So it is a very sparkly,
Very
tall
sparkly
travel mug with the Winter Soldier star that he has on his shoulder, and then the back has the words that you could say to him that would control him. That he had to break. They had to break in the.
So do we not dare say them out
We
loud?
don't dare say them out loud,
Right.
Unless you want to control them. Which, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't?
So, dear listener, Darynda has a thing for Sebastian Stan.
Yes, I do.
She stands the
I
Stan.
stands the Stan.
Those things you didn't need to know.
Right. Probably TMI.
So, and I'm trying to figure out, why am I so much whiter than Darynda? I mean, am I? We're sort of sitting side by side, and I feel like I look very white in this light. That's very pale.
But it's very pretty.
Oh, well, thank you. So we're doing the Jack Williamson lectureship, and we went and did the thing last night. Listened to Connie Willis interview Walter John Williams, and then went to dinner afterwards. That was fun.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot about Walter that I didn't know.
Oh, yeah?
And his career. And it was very interesting. Very interesting. He's had a very long and up and down roller coaster career.
Which it seems like all writers do.
Right. Yeah. But yes, it was very interesting. And I also went to, so Connie Willis's daughter is a criminalist in San Jose, California. So I went to that yesterday afternoon and listened to her talk. And that was, I learned so much about her daily, what does a criminalist do? And daily life and the stuff that they do in the lab and the different types of evidence. It was very cool.
So you're going to weave any of this into your books?
Absolutely, yeah.
You just don't know how or where yet?
Right, exactly. She gave some really good tips on ways that they found criminals that, that I have not seen. There was one in particular that I have not seen in a book yet. So I'm like, I'll be using that.
So can you share, or is it secret?
It involves a Fitbit. Put it that way. They use technology a lot. Phones, Fitbits, anything they can get their hands on. And she said, whatever you do, it doesn't matter if you delete it, it's still going to be in your phone. So they have caught many a criminal by getting their phones and recovering deleted pictures and that sort of thing. Just because you think it's deleted, it's not. And computers are the same. it's never really gone. So
It's true.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Facebook and Amazon and all of
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
They save everything forever.
Yep. Yep. It's there forever. So if you commit a crime, don't take pictures.
Don't take pictures and don't wear your Fitbit.
And don't wear your Fitbit.
And I want you guys to know I had to connect with Darynda's Wireless in order to do this podcast. And you know how like there's the joke out there where people say, "Oh, you should name your wireless network like FBI surveillance van so that you can like make your neighbors paranoid." Guess what Darynda's Wireless network is called?
It is.
Because you just couldn't resist.
I couldn't resist. It's just funny. I just found it funny. It's been that for, oh gosh, probably 10 years.
And I won't tell you her Wi-Fi password just in case, but it's on brand also. So I feel like I have to level up to match like your level of being on brand.
My commitment, my
Your
level of
commitment to the brand. So what are you working on these days, Darynda? Actually, let's talk about. I know you're working on several things,
Okay.
but let's talk about your revisions on the third book, the Sunshine book,
Yes.
because I think a lot of people, a lot of writers listen to the podcast as well as readers, but there's always this perception. Speaking of like up and down and that kind of thing, that like, what is this? Your 16th published book?
No, this will be 26th.
26. How did I lose
Yeah.
track? Well, that's because you've got the
That's
self-published
true. I
ones
have
too.
different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All the.
And the young adult, that was a long time ago.
Oh,
I have the trilogy. And
yeah. So yeah, 26 books now, and you're working with your wonderful editor at St. Martin's.
Mhm.
But it hasn't been a path strewn with rose petals.
No, it's not. So it's so funny because I got very used to, my first editor was Jennifer Enderlin, who is now the president of St. Martin's.
And she's busy.
And she's busy. And so I went to another editor. So I got used to Jennifer's editing style. And she had a certain way, and she would just write, she wouldn't do line edits. She would write me an editorial letter, and, we were good.
And it's kind of like a marriage,
Yeah,
right? You get really in sync with a particular
you do.
person.
And so I was very used to that. Then I went to another editor for one book, and I wasn't edited at all. And I was like, no, no book is perfect. I mean, they just isn't. I don't care who you are. Your book's not perfect. And so I, voiced my concerns to my agent. And so she talked to Jennifer. And now I have another editor, and I've had her for 3 books now, Alexandra Seeholster, and she's amazing. But there are things that she thinks of that I just wouldn't think of. And it's very interesting. It's been very interesting. And things like word choices that I wouldn't have thought of, like I couldn't use. Should I say this? Is it okay to say?
I think it is,
Okay.
because it's interesting how and yesterday I talked a whole lot. Oops, sorry, I thought I muted. It's my mother. Hi, Mom. No, you know what whenever I'm saying, "Oh, there's my mother awake and texting me." Okay, there we go. And now I lost my train of thought. So because I was talking yesterday about being Generation X.
Right.
And and things change, and you try to be good about being aware and not becoming that grandfather where everyone says,
in my day, that's what we called it.
And it's like, well, yes, grandpa's a racist, but that was the time he grew up, and you don't want to be that person, right? But at the same time, stuff changes rapidly,
right.
And like what feels like an okay word to use even a year or two ago is now people are like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you can't use it. And so I was really surprised at 2 of the words that she took out. And I didn't even tell you my bizarre story about Ryder coffee. So, okay, so she had me take out thug and hoodlum. Hoodlum I got because that's clearly hood, racist, that sort of thing. But thug, I was like, why thug? So I go to Ryder's Coffee last Saturday, and lo and behold, what are they talking about?
Thugs?
The word thug.
which comes from Thagi.
Yes, I
Yes.
did not know this at all. I didn't bring it up. I thought this is a sign from God.
God,
Are you listening?
or like, or the technology on your
This is
smartphone,
true.
right?
Yes,
Well,
yes,
so,
it's all out there, and yeah, and how it came as the British used it as propaganda against Indian gods and that sort of
East
thing,
India,
East
yeah,
Indian,
yeah.
and yeah, I didn't even know that. I was like, oh, well, now I get it.
Although, yeah, although still, it's some of these words are so old, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know, but it's you don't want to hurt anybody, so it's
right,
good to learn these
right,
things and
right,
take them out. But then it's like, trying to cleanse these things from your
right,
vocabulary
right,
can just
right.
be
Just very interesting experience.
yes, yes. So I have to tell you guys that Dorinda's table has cup holders. Do you see this? I can like set this into the little cup
And you
holder.
would think that's what it is. Do you know what it actually is?
This is like for gaming or something. This
Yes,
is poker
it
table.
was for those little ashtrays. Way back in the day, they would put these
Oh,
little disgusting ashtrays. And clearly, we don't have them, but we
right.
do have the poker, and
I
this
was
is all
noticing that
dirty.
I was fidgeting with this. That
The poker things. I just
oh,
thought it was a
look
really
at this.
pretty table. We
It
used to have
is.
game night. We never played poker, but we used to do game night. So
It's a beautiful table. I mean,
thank
do you know
you.
what wood it is?
No, I
Oh,
don't. I think it's all fake. It was not that expensive.
really? I don't know. This looks it has very nice
Yeah,
wood grain.
yeah. It's pretty though. I just thought it was pretty.
It is pretty. It is pretty, and it has cup holders. I mean,
There
it's
you go.
seriously. It's
Yes, according to my grandkids, those are cup holders too. So
okay. Well, that's probably says a lot about my mental age right there.
no, I actually when I bought it, I thought they were cup holders.
Did you?
I
Okay.
did.
And
Yeah.
then somebody told you, huh?
Yeah, somebody was like, "No, those were for those little ashtrays." Oh,
Learning every
to
day.
learn stuff every day.
Okay, so you ended up having to take words out, and then it's just revising. People often ask about the process of revising,
Yes.
and so how would you describe your process? I should have tried to ask it with a straight face. Darynda Jones, how do you describe your revision process?
Gosh, I don't know. I just go through the notes, and so Alex, my new editor, she does line edits as well as an editorial letter, and so I don't know. I just did the line edits first and went through everything and tried to fix everything, and again things that I wouldn't even have thought of, and then went to the letter and. I, what's my process? I don't know.
I don't know. I was curious. Do you like begin at the beginning of the book, or do you?
Well, with the line edits, I do. So I
Right.
just go straight through those, try to get those done as much as possible. Um, and for the most part, I try to accept everything because I figure, well, if it just threw her out of the story or whatever, every once in a while, I'll be like, I'm going to keep that, instead.
Do fight for your
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah, I do fight for my jokes because that's the thing. Like I have a lot of jokes, and she will take out some,
You are known for your humor.
yeah, and so and every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I gotta put that one back in. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I just like it.
You can't kill that,
I
darling.
can't kill that, darling. Yeah, and it's funny. We were talking about how editors, um, like they'll be reading something and maybe they have to go off and do something else or go to a meeting or they go have lunch or they, sleep.
Get a phone
or
call.
get a phone call,
Yeah.
whatever. And they come back to it. And it's kind of like, it's almost like they kind of forgot what was going on before or something. Because sometimes the notes will be really out of the blue and you're like, what? Where did that come from?
I always wonder that and sometimes like beta readers will do that too,
Right,
because they'll be like, well, but you never said, like why he had the thing or
Yes,
something. Where
yes.
did the thing come from? And you go back and you're like, here it is on page 10,
Right.
where I say why he has the thing.
Yes, yeah.
And it's like, maybe they
Yeah.
just, and you look at it and you think, well, do I need to add to it? Do I need to
Right.
explain?
Yes.
Here's why he has the
Yes.
thing.
Make it more salient or something to get the attention. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, it can be hard. I try to tell people this, that it can be a real challenge to, no matter where you are in your career, knowing which critique to take.
Right.
And we were talking about this some
Yes.
too last night,
Yes.
about people telling you how to fix it.
Yes. Yes. So a lot of times it's like an editor or a beta reader, whatever. They'll know something's wrong, not quite right, not necessarily wrong, but not quite right. Something didn't hit them. And then they might offer a way to fix it. But a lot of times that doesn't fix it. That's not the right way to do it. So you'll like go back and you'll think, oh, but if I add this line 2 paragraphs before, then that makes more sense. So you have to figure out the best way to fix it. It's like they know something's not quite right, but they don't know what.
And sometimes they can't even describe it.
Right.
Right. Because they'll say, well, I just don't sympathize with this character, you know,
Right.
and I think it's because his hair is the wrong color. You know, that's
Right.
like a stupid example, but and you're like, no, I know it's not the hair color
Right.
that's bothering you, but something is making you feel unsympathetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so it's like this detective.
Exactly. You have
Yeah.
to really, and that's why to me revisions take so long, because you have to sit there and kind of like think about, okay, what is the real problem here? You have to try to get in your reader's head or whatever and try to figure out.
That's one of the hardest parts, isn't
Yes.
it? To try to, because you have the book up here.
Right.
And so
Right.
you know.
Exactly.
And it's like, how do I get it so that they know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, even then, you know, readers make things their own, right? You
Right.
know, that
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's always interesting to see how some readers interpret the books, right?
Yeah.
I talked some, and you and I chatted some about Jennifer Ella Armentrout's most recent book, and the whole kerfuffle around that.
Yes,
you know, and all of those readers saying that, you know, they were upset about, I don't even know what it was, but like something. Did we talk about this? Maybe it was with someone else. Did you, you know, like this one that just came out, and it was
I
like the
don't
War
think-
of Two Queens.
Oh,
So
yeah. No,
yeah.
we didn't talk about that. No, I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Did you follow that at all?
No.
Oh,
I
well,
didn't know
all
there
of
was
these.
a kerfuffle.
Oh, yeah. Well, all of these readers, or some readers, some very loud voice readers on like Book Talk, got very, very upset, saying that, I don't know, it had something to do with like that there was some kind of emotional infidelity, and they were really upset with her and calling it a deal breaker. And Jennifer said in like one of her reader groups that they were reading it wrong. And they got very upset. You know, you can't tell me how to read and all this, which true.
Yes.
But then some other people who read the book said, but actually they were reading it wrong.
Oh, okay.
So it's like,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
But I mean, that is a thing you just can't. It. I mean, do you think there is a thing where readers are reading it wrong? Because you can go both ways on this.
Well, but also to me, if there's more than,
more than one person.
Yeah, more than one person
got this impression.
Yeah, then I don't. Can you read a book wrong?
I mean, certainly we get like reviews where people like get actual details wrong.
Right. Exactly.
You know, like
exactly
the names.
Yes.
Or they'll say things like, you know, I hated the part where she killed the dog. And you're like, but actually she didn't kill the dog.
Right. Yes, that is absolutely, yeah, something went wrong there.
There was some disconnect. But yeah, readers, and it's interesting if you go back and read something that you read a long time ago. Have you done that?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, like something you read when you were like a teenager, or anything leap to mind that you've done that with?
Well, I hate talking bad about it. So I am.
You can fudge the details.
Okay. Well, okay, we'll do that. So I'm a huge, very particular vampire series fan.
Oh.
That was absolutely huge. And And I remember when read the first one, I read the first one when it first came out, and I loved it. I loved everything about it, and for the most part. And everybody kept talking about how badly written it was. And this
Is this the
was,
book I think it is?
does it start with a T?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And they kept talking about how badly written it was, and I was like, really? Well, and I was still new. I was still writing. I wasn't published yet or anything, and I didn't get it. And so, now after having, I think it was probably about 2 years ago, I decided to reread it, and I was like, wow, it it really is badly written, but it's still a good book. It was still a good book.
It was an enthralling book.
Yes, and I still loved it, and I still love it, and I love her, and I love what she did. Um, I she got hundreds of thousands of teenagers to read.
Yes.
Who
Who
had
then
never
became
read.
our readers.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
who had never read a book in their lives. I met many of them.
And then went on to love all things
Yes,
fantasy.
yes,
And yes, so we are.
yes.
That's interesting because I have not gone back and read that book.
Yeah, I was really
Interesting.
floored. I had a very difficult time getting into it again, and yeah, it was
Wow,
interesting.
you hadn't told me that.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel bad. I mean, a lot of people say there's books are not badly written.
Right, and I have said that.
Yeah,
I've said that on
yes,
record on this
yes,
podcast.
yes, yes.
Well, that I've said that people do not read 800 pages of bad writing.
Right.
So it's
Right.
it's not actual bad writing.
Right.
It's something else.
Yes.
It's
yes.
that it doesn't fit a particular aesthetic or
Style. Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what about it would you say was badly written?
I
What
would-
hit you wrong? Because now you've got this editor brain
Yeah,
too,
yes,
right?
exactly. And I just feel like it was written, which this was her first published book,
Right.
and it was the first book.
Who among us would not go back and
Right.
change
Absolutely.
our first published book?
Absolutely. It was a first book, and yeah, I just,
Would you change things in your first published book?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I would change so much. I can't even, yeah, I never read my books anymore. I would change so much. I cringe.
I've thought about that, and I don't know if you and I have talked about it, but like my first published book was, or like full novel was Rogue's Pawn, the first fantasy
Right.
romance in Covenant of
Mhm.
Thorns that Karina did, and we're trying to get rights back now.
Mhm.
And so now I'm wrestling with that. It's like, if I get my rights back and I self-publish it, do I,
Do you want to go back through it?
because part of me really does.
Yeah.
But also, I think it might be such a gargantuan effort
Right.
that
Right.
it's not worth
Do
it.
you want
And
to put that kind of time into it when you could be,
when I could write new things.
yes, producing new work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Would you?
Oh, that's such a good question.
If you got the rights back
to First Grave,
First Grave,
I would change little things.
little things like word choice or
Yes, word choices. I feel like Charlie, I was trying to, in that first book, I feel like I tried too hard because,
and in some ways you've talked about, and I'm interrupting
Yes.
you,
No,
but
no,
you've
you're
talked
fine.
about that, like in the early days, you would go in and layer in the humor
yes,
in a way that you now just do as an organic part of the
Yes,
writing.
exactly.
But then it was much more deliberate.
Yes,
it was
more
joke, joke, joke.
deliberate.
Yeah.
And I was trying to write funny because people kept telling me that I write funny. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, work on
I'm going to
this.
write funny,
I'm gonna
goddammit.
write funny on purpose. Because I wasn't doing it on purpose. And yeah, I feel like I tried too hard and I overdid it. And Charlie comes across to me, especially early in the book, as very unsympathetic because she's when you write humor, you can't belittle other people. And I don't know
because then it just becomes cruel.
It's just cruel, yeah. And I don't know that she was necessarily doing that, but it almost it's on that edge there to where it was just a bit much. And I would change that. I think I would go back and change it.
I haven't looked at that book of mine. I think that there's a lot of problems with
Really?
it.
Structurally,
yes.
See, that would be way more massive, a bigger undertaking. And I don't know that I would do that.
I saw somebody recently, like last year or something like that, reading it, because this is part of it, is like when people discover your work now, they go
Right.
back and
They go
like,
back.
bless
Absolutely.
them,
Yes. Thank
bless
you.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But they go and read your entire backlist.
Right.
And I kind of cringe because I'm like, oh,
Right.
don't go all the way
Yes.
back.
Yes. Exactly.
But I saw somebody, like, it showed up in my tweet search, where they mentioned it. They didn't tag me. It was totally my fault that I looked. But they were talking about, oh, reading Covenant of Thorns by Jodi Kennedy. So excited. And then, but she was talking about how it, like, she got whiplash going back and forth between the whimsy and the horrific aspects of
Oh,
it.
wow.
And it's like,
Interesting.
I think I didn't balance it well. I didn't know what I
Right.
was doing.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right?
We're still learning. And yeah.
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 And I wanted those things in it, but I think, yeah, it's that refinement. It's getting the blend right.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. So that's probably enough time. Do you have anything else you want to say? No, you have nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
And we're going to try to get a little work done before we go
Yes,
off to the
yes.
readings. I already got some writing done this morning.
Did you?
Yes.
Look at you.
Yeah, I know.
She's such a good. She
I
makes me
thought-
look bad.
Well, one thing that Walter was saying last night when Connie was asking him about, process and when does he write and all of this, and he's like that he writes like 500 words a day and does it like at 1 a.m, and he just works for a couple hours, and otherwise he pretty much like naps and
Eats and
eats. And I was like, how do I get this writer's life? She asked him what his favorite part of being a writer was, and he said the hours. And it was like, this does not match my life, and it doesn't match your life.
No.
Right? It's like,
No.
what we're doing it fucking wrong.
We're doing it very wrong. Very, very wrong. Walter's got the right idea.
I guess he also has like the enormous backlist and
True,
his
he does.
riches that he lives off of.
Yes, yeah,
Still, we have to figure this out.
yeah. We're going to work on that.
We'll work on that. All right, so we're going to go work on that. Lovely seeing you all. I forgot to say that it was Friday. We forgot to do the chair dance.
You did.
I didn't even say what the date was, so let's do it now. Today is April 8th, and it is, you're going to say it with me, do the chair dance?
What is the
You have to
chair?
go, it's Friday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was like,
It's
the chair
Friday. There you go. So you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you all on Monday. You all take care. Bye-bye.